Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another episode of Battle Bites here in World of Tanks. And today what I'm going to do is try to walk through my tips for how to acquire the Centennial T95. This is the British Tier 8 premium tank, the hero tank that is up for grabs right now as part of the 100 Years of Tanks celebration on the console version of World of Tanks. So what I'm going to do first is give my strategy for the steps that you should take to acquire the tank, the approach to get the points you need for the tank, and then after that I will put up a graph with some of the numbers to try and help estimate how many battles it'll take to earn the tank, to unlock the tank. Now while I do the first part of the review, I have some B-roll rolling here. This is just a good battle in the E50. I recently unlocked the Top Gun on that tank, and oh man, is it fun to play now. And it's on the new map that got introduced with the last patch, Thiepval, I believe it is. So this will be just something to watch in the background, and then when I finish up that and switch into the numbers, I'll put the graph and the numbers up on the screen. So first question, what do you need to do to earn this tank? Well, it's a little different than the previous tanks. You need to earn 300 points. The good news is you cannot lose points. When you were going for the hammer, the points that you needed were really low, but you could win points and you could lose points based on how your battles were going. And so that was really frustrating. So we've gotten rid of that aspect. You cannot lose points, you can only gain points. But the number of points you need is way, way higher. 300 total points are required, and those are spread across 3 different operations. And just like all the other events, these are time blocked. So Operation 1 requires 100 points. It ran from the start of the event all the way to the end, so you can start late and still catch up. The second one unlocks on the 19th of September, and that one also requires 100 points. And then the third and final mission doesn't unlock until it's 3 days before the end of the mission. I think it's the 25th, but I could have that wrong. Whatever, 3 days before the end of the mission, that'll unlock. So you'll need another 100 points in the last 3 days to unlock the third operation and to earn the tank. So how do you earn those points? Well, the most obvious way that they tell you is to have a kill in a winning battle. That gets you 1 point. It doesn't matter how many kills. If you get 5 kills in a winning game, you don't get 5 points. You just get 1. So I don't know how you guys feel about it. Me, personally, I hate those operations. Whenever a mission requires kills in winning battles, it's the worst for me. It's super frustrating. You could have a really good game, do 5,000 damage, help your team win, but not be lucky enough to get a kill shot, and you don't get any credit towards these missions. Same thing, you could be on having a great game, you could have 5 kills, and you lose, and once again, no credit, even though you had a great game. So, that's really frustrating. I hate when missions do that, but my advice to you, thankfully, what you can do for this mission, for this operation, ignore that requirement. Forget about it. Don't make that your goal. If it happens, fine, that's gravy, that's extra. But there's a different way and a better way, I think, to earn points, and that's to do it through the bonus operation that you can earn during this event. So how do you earn the bonus operation? Well, you need to play in the Mark 1 tank in the Trench Warfare special mode that's going on right now. If you come in the top 3 damage dealers on your team, you earn one of these bonus operations. And I know the Trench Warfare mode, the Mark 1 tank, it's a bit of a grind, it's a bit of a slog. Feel free to check out my other video, my previous one, reviewing that tank and the game mode, providing some tips. It's a bit tough of a tank to play. It's not one you really get excited about, but it's a great crew trainer. So any tank you have that doesn't have a crew that's at 100% or doesn't have 6th Sense yet, put them in this and grind out 6th Sense. You'll do it so fast. The bonus XP that you get in this tank is insane. And also, all you need to do is place in the top 3 damage dealers. You don't need to win. You don't need to have a kill. So even if you get steamrolled, put in 3 or 4 shots. If your team was that bad that they got steamrolled, you'll still probably be in the top 3 in damage. I think in my games, I'm probably at about the 90-95% of Mark 1 games. I'm in the top 3 damage dealers. So I'm earning one of those bonus operations. So don't let that stop you. Those games are so fast. They're a 2-3 minute game. You can do it. You can grind out. And what I suggest you get 60 of those operations. And in order to get those operations, stock up early. The mode only runs on the weekends of the event. Through this next week, the Trench Warfare mode, I believe, is going to be disabled. So Get your 60 operations now, so later on in the stages, especially the last couple days when stage 3 unlocks, you don't need to worry about playing in the Mark 1 tank. Get all those bonus ops now. They should carry through to the other events as they unlock. So what do you do with those bonus operations? How does that help you get the tank? Well, if you're able to place in the top 3 damage dealers on your team in a normal multiplayer mode battle, not the Mark 1 mode, the multiplayer mode, if you have one of these operations earned and activated, if you place in the top 3 damage dealers, it will reward you with a random amount of points for the operation. And there's a bunch of different points you can get. I think it's 1, 3, 5, 8, 10, 20. And I'm sure that those are not weighted equally. I'm sure the chance to get a 1 point a reward is much higher than the chance to get a 20-point reward. So that's what you need to do. Stockpile those operations, get 60 of them total, and then you activate one, go into your multiplayer mode, place in the top 3 damage dealers, and you'll get the points awarded to you. So here's where we'll switch over to the math. And what I did is, the reason I'm saying 60 operations is based on, this is very rough, this is one of the big assumptions that I'm making. I think the average kickback that you'll get from one of the bonus operations is 5 points. That could be wrong. It could be lower. It could be higher. And if so, you would need to adjust your numbers. But that's what I think. I think about 5 points is what you get on average from completing one of those bonus operations. So if you're getting 5 points per op, you need 60 total ops. 60 times 5 gets you to 300 points exactly. Now, also bear in mind, if you're playing in games and you're competing for the top 3 damage slots, you're going to have games where you also get the kill in a winning battle. So that's going to be a free point every so often. So, I'm not factoring that into the math, but that's going to happen. So your numbers will actually be a little bit lower in terms of required total games to get the tank. So you got to get 60 operations of the bonus operations from playing the Mark 1 tank. So the top graph that you're looking at is your percent that you place in the top 3 on your team. And then below that is how many games it'll take to earn 60 of the operations. So obviously, if every game you place in the top 3, then you only need 60 games to get the 60 ops, and so on down the line. Then, once you've acquired those 60 operations, you need to place in the top 3 damage dealing of your team in order for that op to trigger and for you to get the reward. So then you go to the second bar and you look at what your percentage of placing in the top 3 damage dealers is. And that's going to be on your personal preference, your personal experience, trying to figure out what those numbers are. There's no way to really know other than just estimating it based on your past performance. And so again, if you're placing 50% of the time, you're in the top 3 of your damage dealers, then in order to complete all 60 of those operations, you're looking at 120 games. So that would be 120 games at 50% to get your 300 points, but you had to get the bonus operations. So add into that your games in the Mark 1 tank, and that is your total number of games required to earn the Centennial T95. So with all that said, let's get into a couple of tips on how you can actually go about placing in the top 3 damage dealers on your team. Again, if you're a Unicum, you know how to do this. You don't need to be looking to me for tips. But for the average players that are out there, keep in mind the goal is damage. So if you're a great light tank player, you're the best passive scout in the game, you rock and roll, you get 5,000 assistance damage a game, none of that matters. You don't get any credit for assistance damage. It's only direct damage that counts. So don't be using your snake bite. Don't be using light tanks with low pen guns or that have a really long reload or that are very inaccurate. This might not be the time for your KV2. If you only get one shot every 20 seconds and it misses because it's inaccurate, this might not be the time to take that tank out. Again, you know your tanks. If you place in the top 3 all the time in your KV2 because you rule with it, go for it. Blocking damage has no impact. So your heavy tank, you're great at securing the corner, helping your team win. You play a pivotal role. Guess what? It's not going to get you to where you want to be because what matters is the damage that you deal. So most games, in my experience in World of Tanks, devolve into a blowout. Either you're blowing the enemy team out or they're blowing you out. And so I think one of the most important things you can do to increase your damage total is have a tank that's mobile. so that you can participate in the end game, the cleanup, and boost your damage totals. Don't be the first tank spotted. Try to support from the second line. Have something with a rapid firing gun with good penetration. Flank your enemies. And then when the time is right, either when you start to steamroll the enemy, be aggressive, get in there, hunt down those last tanks, or when you're getting steamrolled, find a break in the enemy line, blast through and find an enemy that's either camping at the back, find the artillery, break through the lines and do that last bit of damage, go down fighting so that you can, even if you lose, it doesn't matter. As long as you place in the top 3 damage dealers for your team, you'll unlock that bonus operation. So pick the right tank, play with that mindset. Winning, it's good, and this is kind of weird because it goes against how you normally should be playing the game. Normally you want to win, you want to help your team, you want to contribute, but you have to be a little bit selfish if you're trying to accomplish this tank. You need a lot of points in a limited amount of time. Damage is what counts. Play a tank that does a lot of damage. Play something mobile that can get around the battlefield, that has a good, reliable, hard-hitting gun. Rapid firing, I think, is a little better. Good penetration. Hey, if you're going to spend some premium ammo, now's the time to do it, right? That last shot that you take that may bounce could be the difference between you making it in the top 3 or not. So if you want that tank, you're going to have to earn it. This is definitely, in my opinion, the toughest set of circumstances to earn one of these tanks so far. But it can be done if you go about it in the right way. If you approach it smartly, hopefully these tips will help you get there. Don't be frustrated. I know the Mark 1 tank's a slog to play, but check out my video on that. I do have some tips on how to play that tank to get yourself in the top 3 damage dealers, and you guys can do it. It's a really cool looking tank. I've had some trouble penning it with that, even the front upper plate, which isn't supposed to be well armored. I know it's supposed to be all about that turret armor, but that front upper plate's pretty nasty too. It looks like it's a pretty cool tank if you can earn it for free. So go out there, earn the tank. Hopefully this helped you out. If it did, please feel free to like, favorite, and as always, subscribe to Meat City Gaming for future content. Thank you for joining me. Good luck out there. See you next time.